Phương Thảo xin kính chào quý vị khán giả của Sài Gòn TV. Và kính thưa quý vị, một trong những vấn đề lo âu của hầu như một số khán giả gửi về cho Phương Thảo làm sao đó để mình biết thêm một tí xíu nữa về cái real estate market. Và ngày hôm nay trước khi mình mua hoặc là trước khi mình bán một ngôi nhà thì điều đầu tiên mình cần đó là tìm đến và hiểu thêm về real estate market. Và ngày hôm nay Phương Thảo có hai người khách mời đến với chương trình rất là đặc biệt, đó là Larry Johnson và cũng như là ông ta là người mà chủ của Arlington Board of Realtors, President of Arlington Board of Realtors, và bên cạnh đó thì cũng có Rod McDonald là Chairman của Arlington Board of Realtors, là hai người rất là expert về cái field này, và Phương Thảo hy vọng rằng sẽ đem đến cho quý vị những cái tin tức mà cần thiết trước khi quý vị mua hoặc là bán nhà trong những năm tới. Larry and Ron, thank you so much for coming to my show.
Certainly.
Yes, and now we are talking about real estate.
Okay.
Completely talking about real estate. And earlier I was just trying to introduce you guys, but I'm very sure you guys didn't understand what I'm saying. So if you don't mind, just say hello to my audience over there.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
I'm Rod McDonald.
Good afternoon. I'm Larry Johnson.
Yes, and I am so grateful to have both of you guys here. We're going to talk about the real estate market. So how are we doing now in the real estate world?
Well, I'm going to let Rod, he's more of the expert in the real estate world of the daily practice. I'm more running the association, the business of the realtors. So let's let Rod talk a little bit about the...
Our current market, Texas market, is very strong. We've gone through a storm.
Right.
In 2008, 9, and 10, and we've come out of it stronger than ever before.
Right. So, meaning strong, meaning this is a buyer market or this is a seller market? Or?
It's actually a good market for both. It's a strong seller market, strongest that we've had in more than 10 years. But interest rates remain extremely low, and that being said, it's a terrific time for your buyers to come into the marketplace.
Some people say that the reason the market is as hot as it is because we didn't have enough inventory. What do you think about that?
That is correct. We've got statistical data that we'd be glad to share with you that states that the market is. We need more homes.
We need more inventory, right?
Yeah, the builders can't keep up with the demand, and they're building as much as they can, but it's just one of those things where we could use a little bit more inventory.
And the builders are having trouble because of the new federal regulations, because they've overreacted on what happened in the housing market. So they're making it very hard on builders to get loans for spec homes. And then they also have trouble because all the people that were doing the construction of the homes had to find new jobs. So now they're trying to find workers to build the homes and get the loans. So it's a little slow getting the inventory and getting the new homes going again.
Yes, but let's talk specifically into the county that our viewer is at right now. Okay. So Tarrant County is one of the counties that have a lot of Vietnamese community base.
Yes.
And so do you see anything currently right now that benefit our buyers with this market? Well,
again, you have to go back as far as the buyer side of it. You have to go back to the interest rates. We've come to expect interest rates below 5% in the last several years. That doesn't mean that they're going to be that way for the next several years. So it's a very good time. I feel like homes today are a good buy because with current predictions, house prices are going up. We look at the last 2 or 3 years, home prices have increased significantly. I think that's going to continue.
Some of our viewer is holding on to hopefully that the next couple of months that the inventory will be a little bit more choices for them. Do you think that could be a wise choice?
I think that our inventory will increase a little bit, but I don't have a strong indication from anyone now that in the Texas market that we're going to just see a great increase in the number of homes on the market. I see small increases over the next probably 6 months to a year.
And then, when we talked about it, besides all the data, it seemed like people have a very normal train of thought that during the winter sections, usually that a lot of buyers would hesitate of going out and looking for a home, either for rentals or for themselves. So therefore, we see a little bit increase usually on the inventory, and that hopefully that the price then will be dropped just a little bit for them to kind of playing with, or at least paying the same price but have more choices. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's a bad decision. And I'll say that because one, we've got people moving into Texas at a very high rate.
Right.
Interest rates aren't going down much more. I can't say that, but I
It
firmly
won't
believe
be.
that inventory is not going to grow that much. Prices are going to go up because of demand, so it is time to move. I mean, I wouldn't wait on buying a home. I would find a realtor that they could stay in touch with that would be looking for them daily, and then they'd get an opportunity to see if they could buy the home that comes on the market. But waiting is not a good
Waiting
good
right now
answer.
is not a good one
Very
because
bad
time is
answer.
rushing right now, huh?
Absolutely.
So let's flip it a little bit. Okay, the buyer is good to buy because interest rate right now is low, and we're not guaranteed it's going to stay this low.
Right.
But at the same time, there might be a little bit difficult to obtain in a loan. Do you see that recently more so than back a couple years ago?
Well, when you go back 10 years ago, a lot of the reason we had the downturn in the market is because money was so easy to come by.
Right.
A lot of people say, if you could fog a mirror, you could get a loan,
Yes.
and that's not the case today.
Right.
We do still have programs that get people in for less money. That's usually in the American dream is trying to get into that house,
Right.
and the down payment is what keeps people from getting into the homes. There's still a lot of programs out there that allow people to get into homes for lower amounts.
So do you think that the second market ever come back?
I think the regulations are tight, so it's going to really keep it hard for it to come back for a while. But
Right.
we're seeing actually signs of people saying that they can get them in for those funny loans that we saw, but not very much right now.
Yeah.
I think it's good. We're working at the national level to try to keep FHA from raising their mortgage interest premiums to make it more affordable and help people get into the homes.
Awesome. So a little bit more about Dallas County. So Tarrant counties or in Dallas County, is there a little bit difference about that?
Well, Dallas and Tarrant County mirror each other pretty well. When you look at the data, the inventory data in Dallas versus Tarrant, it's the same. There's 2.7 months of inventory currently available. Now, that doesn't mean that homes are going to run out. We're going to run out of homes in 2.7 months.
Right.
But at current levels, that's a gauge on the number of homes. When we go back to 2012, in Dallas County, there were 5.3 months supply of homes, 5.2 in Tarrant County.
So that's not much different between the two counties
No,
at all.
the two counties pretty much mirror each other. Where most of the growth is in the housing market now is in Collin County, up north of Plano, McKinney, and Frisco, in that area. It's tremendous growth there. We've got the data for Collin County, where Dallas and Tarrant County had 2.7 months of inventory. Collin County's down to 2 months.
2 months in inventory.
So,
Wow. So that would be a good market to get in if you're an investor.
Well, if you're
Trying
an
to get
investor,
someone's home and then sell it back.
Well, if you
So
want to put your home on the market, this is a very good time
deal
to
to
do it.
do that.
Absolutely.
Yes. And let's
Absolutely.
switch a little bit back to the buyer, the seller. We talked about the buyer right now, if they have and capable to be able to get a loan to not wait, go
Right.
ahead
Absolutely.
and make
Absolutely.
that permanent decisions, either buying a house to live in or investments. It's a good market to do so because loans will not stay the way it is.
True.
And
That's true.
inventory would be even less than, right? Because
Correct.
more people can buy in it. What about seller? Is
Well,
it a good market for them
It's a terrific market for a seller. Obviously, the fewer homes on the market, you have increased demand, and that's going to drive the prices up. It's a supply and demand principle. We are seeing right now that homes that are put on the market are selling at a record high as far as the percentage of sale price. I think across the Metroplex, it's 97.4% of their list price. Now, again, that's assuming that you can't put your home on the market and expect it to sell for 97% of list price if the property needs a lot of work. Get the work done on the house, make the house presentable, price it correctly, and it will sell.
Do you see any trend that there are houses that list right now that is kind of high, that they don't have appraiser support to be in that high listing, even though demand is there and people willing to pay for it, but then there is not a record that an appraiser can use to do a comparable to where it adjusts for the price of their listing?
Well, there's two ways that this happens. Occasionally, the appraiser cannot get value on the property.
Right.
In a case like that, you've got the seller is either going to have to reduce the price, or the buyer's going to have to come up with a larger down payment on it. It works both ways, and I'm not saying that a buyer should pay more than appraised value, but if you want the house and you're in love with the house, that's something that's an option.
Willing to pay
That's an
for,
option.
right?
That's correct.
And that's what keeps prices under somewhat control, is because the appraisers have to walk through the world, as we say, looking backwards.
Yes.
What has already happened.
That's
Not
correct.
Right.
what I think prices are going to do. They've got to look backwards at the prices they already have.
That's true.
And the good ones will move it up a little bit because they know, but there's still limitations even what an appraiser can do.
Yeah, because they depend on the kind of loan that we obtain
Absolutely.
and what they can
Absolutely.
do, and their abilities to be able
Absolutely.
to evaluate the house. But talking about the market being hot for buyer and seller, what about the realtor? Do we have a lot of realtor coming into the associations?
We have a lot of growth, thanks. As markets get hot, we have quite a bit of growth. We were down to probably 13 in the Arlington board. We had about just over 1,300 members at the low point, and we are back up to 1,700 members now. So
wow, congratulations!
We're seeing a lot of growth. We're seeing a lot of people come in, and again, that's an indication of the market.
So what about, we talked about buyer, we talked about seller. We will come back though, and let's talk about those investors, and the markets, how it is before, and what we see in the future. Và sau vài những thông tin thương mại thì Phương Thảo sẽ trở lại với quý vị. Xin quý vị hãy giữ màn hình của Sài Gòn TV. Thank you so much.